from wherever you're watching me around the world. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy this wonderful evening to welcome you to this channel. And I'm very happy to welcome you. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy this evening to be here. It is 1 a.m. Kenyan time, and without any, without wasting time, because time is not in our favor, we will continue with our read. Remember, yesterday we finished reading the Old Testament because it's December, and you know what December means. There's a lot of activities in December, so we have to do a crash program because there's no time. In December there are many things that usually happen, many things that demand our time. So because of that, we have to really take every minute and use it wisely. Any question up to that? It's already one. Welcome to this channel, and I'm very happy this wonderful evening to be here. And I'm very blessed this wonderful time. It is such an such an amazing journey. And for those who were following the program in the morning, we said that no one can serve two masters. Either you hate the one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. And in this context, Jesus was talking about either serving God or money. And I went into details talking about how people love money, and how people love money. It's a very interesting thing that I've come to realize, that people love money. It is money that makes them sing. It is money that makes them, they only react to money. And I was just thinking about it, and I said, you know what? That is very important, and very happy this wonderful evening to be here. And for those who are questioning, are wondering, why is it that we are pushing the limit this time? I said it's because there's no time. Therefore, let's continue reading. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you eat or drink, or about your body, what you wear. Is not life more than food, or the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add another hour to your life? By worrying. And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown away into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? What shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. When you come here, just know that it is a study, like any other, because there's no time. Okay. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble on of its own. All right, we have already read that, so let's continue reading. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Watch out for, okay, let's continue. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But as small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. All right. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit. Every good tree will bear good fruit. You will know them by their fruits, all right? That's how you know people. You'll know them by their fruits. Are we together? Yes, that's how you know people, by their fruits. Are we together? Yes. That's very nice. Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit, it is cut down and thrown in the fire. Right? All right. Thus, by their fruit, you will recognize them. You will recognize them by their fruits. All right? If you want to know what type of a person he is, you recognize them by their fruits. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. We'll just be streaming for 1 hour. Then don't worry, we are here. I want us to finish this book so that we can do other things. In the book of Matthew, for your information, there are let me see. There are, let me see how many chapters. Matthew 20. There are 28 chapters in the book of Matthew, and if we are strong enough for today, we're going to cover the book of Matthew until we finish, and I hope that we'll be able to cover the book of Matthew. It would be such a pleasure. Let's continue. All right. Not everyone says to me, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles. All right. Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evil doers. Therefore, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment. I'll be more than happy if you watch this channel. I'm very happy to be here. Any questions? Any questions? Wow. Any questions up to there? So let's continue reading. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a man who built his house on the rock. Who built his house on a rock, right? On a rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall. All right, because it had its foundation on the rock. All right, but anyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. So here, the context is putting the teachings in practice. All right. I remember there's a verse in James chapter 1, verses 21, verses 23, that says, hearing the word and forgetting is like a man who looks himself at the mirror and forgets what he looks like the moment he walks away. Let's continue reading. But anyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teachings, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, a large crowd followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. Jesus reached out of his hand and touched the man. I'm willing, he said, be clean. Immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, see that you do not tell anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the gift Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'll be more than happy if you follow this channel. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home, paralyzed, suffering terribly. Jesus said to him, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. Just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to the following him, truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Any question up to there? Any question? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be more than happy if you join me. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Jesus said to the centurion, go, let it be done just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed at that moment. When Jesus came to Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law lying in bed with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left. And she got up and began to wait on him. When evening came, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him, and he drove out the spirits with a word and healed all those who were ill. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. He took up our infirmities and bore our diseases. Any question up to there? Any question? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'll be very happy to be here. Any question up to there? Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, follow me and let the dead bury their own dead. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Any question up to there? Any question? Any question up to there? We're in Matthew chapter 8. We're moving very quickly. We're reading word for word. Any question up to there? Any question? Feel free to join this channel and you can ask me questions as we move. Then he got into the boat and his disciples followed him. Suddenly a furious storm came from the lake so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, Lord, save us, we're going to drown. He replied, You of little faith, why are you so afraid? You of little faith, why are you so afraid? Any question up to there? I don't want us to even, because we are, racing against time. All right, we are racing. We are racing against time. Any question up to there? Why are you so afraid? Any question? Why are you so afraid? Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. What kind of man is this? When he arrived at the other side of the region of Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. Demon-possessed people. What do you want with us, Son of God? They shouted. Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time? You can imagine these demons were aware that there was an appointed time. Some distance from them, a large herd of pigs was feeding, and the demons begged Jesus, If you drive us out, send us into the herds of pigs. He said to them, Go. So they came out and went into the pigs, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water. Any question up to there? Those tending the pigs ran off, went into the town and reported all this, including what had happened to the demon-possessed men. Then the whole town went out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they pleaded with him to leave their region. Any question up to there? We're in Matthew chapter 9. Any question up to there? We're reading very quickly. Then Jesus stepped into a boat, crossed over, and came to the other town. Some men brought him a paralyzed man lying in a mat. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the man, Take heart, son, your sins are forgiven. All this some of the teachers of the law said to themselves, This fellow is blaspheming. Knowing their thoughts, he said, Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your hearts? Which is easier to say, your sins are forgiven, or to say, Get up and walk? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So it means that Jesus can forgive your sins. So he said to the paralyzed man, Get up, take your mat, and go home. Then the man got up, went home. When the crowd saw this, they were filled with awe, and they praised God who had given such authority to the man. Any question up to there? As Jesus went from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. So Matthew, the man who wrote this book, was a tax collector. From what we have gathered, that is in Matthew chapter 9, verses 9. In fact, Matthew was the first disciple to be called by Jesus, the first disciple to be called. Any question up to there? You feel free to ask me. Follow me, he told him. You can imagine, he left all the money there and followed Jesus. Wow, he must have a lot of faith. He had all. You see, he was working and of course he was at the booth, and he was a tax collector. You can imagine how tax collectors loved money. And Jesus not only took him, Matthew, he also took Zacchaeus, who was also a tax collector. We'll get to know as we continue. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and feel free to comment and ask me questions. And sinners came and they ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but those who are healed. But go and learn what it is. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have come to call the righteous. I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners." Any question up to there? I know we are moving very quickly because of the interest of time, and I wouldn't want us to, if in fact I would want us to finish the book of Matthew tonight. To be amazing, be very amazing. Let's continue. When John's disciples came and asked him, "How is it that we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered, "How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast." Any question up to there? No one sews a patch of a shrunk cloth with an old garment. This one is called new cloth, old. Okay, it's called. Let's continue. New wine and new wineskins. For the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear even worse. Neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst. The wine will run out and the skins will be ruined. So pour new wine into new wineskins, and both will be preserved. That's great. Any question up to there, guys? Any question? Any question? Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Wow. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Let us continue reading. Any question up to there? While he was saying this, a synagogue leader came and knelt before him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and put your hand on her and she will live." So this is like the first resurrection. She came and the daughter has just died. Come and put your hand on her and she will live. Jesus got up and went to him. So did his disciples. Just then, a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak. He said to him, "If only I touch his cloak, I will be healed." Jesus turned said to her, "Take heart, daughter." He said, "Your faith has healed you." And the woman was healed at that moment. When Jesus entered the synagogue, the leader's house, and saw the noisy crowd and the people playing pipes, he said, "Go away, the girl is not dead but asleep." But they laughed at him. After the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took the girl by the hand, and she got up. News of this spread throughout that region. So here in Matthew chapter 9, we have learned of the first miracle of resurrection. Any question up to there? Miracle of resurrection? Resurrection. Any question up to there? Any question? For those who are traveling, I know, let me give you some information that you need to know. For those, there's a friend of mine who told me that he wants to go to Seychelles. I will give you that information. The country of Seychelles is known as the Republic of Seychelles. It has a population of 86,000 people only. Its capital city is called Victoria, and they speak French and English and Seychelles Creole. There's Christianity, there's Hinduism and Islam, and their currency is called Seychellois rupee. Seychellois, it's French, all right? Yes, it's called Seychellois Creole. That is the language that they speak. Somebody told me to talk about, somebody wants to go to, let me see, that information here with me. The best part, somebody told me he wants to go to Comoros, either Seychelles or Comoros. Let me just check. The country is called the Union of the Comoros. It has a population of close to 1 million. So Comoros is bigger than Seychelles. Its capital city is called Moroni, and they speak Comoran, Arabic, and French, and the currency is called Comorian franc. Right. Now, any other question that somebody told me to check for them, and I've just done that. Okay, for those who want to go to Swaziland, it's called the Kingdom of Swaziland. It has a population of 1 million. Its capital city is called Lubamba. All right, Leah, I can see you. And they speak English and Siswati, and its currency is called Lilangeni. All right, and for those who want to go to Zambia, it's called Republic of Zambia, and it has a population of 13 million. The capital city is Lusaka. They speak English, Nyanja, Bemba, Lunda, Tonga, Dozi, Luvale, Kaonde, and Chichewa, and their currency is called the Zambian Kwacha. For those who want to go to Zimbabwe, remember, Zambia is twice as big as Zimbabwe. All right. The capital city is Harare. The population is 1 million. They speak English, Shona, and Dembele, and their currency is Zimbabwe dollar. Any question up to there? For those who want to go to Mauritius, for the people who want to travel, I'll share that knowledge with you. It's called the Republic of Mauritius, and its capital city is called Port Louis, and their currency is called Mauritian rupee. Any question up to there? Any question up to there? At least for those, of course, who want to go to Kinshasa, it has a population of 67 million. The capital city is Kinshasa. They speak French, Lingala, Kikongo, Chiluba, and Swahili, and their currency is the Congolese franc. Any question up to that? Any question up to there? For those who want to go to Madagascar, the capital city is called Antananarivo, and they speak Malagasy and French, and their currency is called Malagasy Ariari. Ariari. Right, let's continue reading without much waste. At least for that break of 5 minutes, I've shared information that I'm sure uh, it's gonna help you if you want to travel this holiday season. I know so many people want to travel, and any question up to there. So we've already learned that Matthew was the first disciple that Jesus chose, and let's continue. As Jesus went on from there, two blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he had gone indoors, the blind men came to him, and he asked them, "Do you believe that I'm able to do this?" He said, "Yes, Lord." They replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the news about him all over that region. Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. While they were out, a man who was demon possessed and could not talk was brought to Jesus. And when the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisee says, "It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons." Let us underline that. It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons. That is, they say that that is Matthew chapter 9, verses 34. All right, it is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any question? Jesus went out through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and illness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers in his harvest field." Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'll be more than happy to welcome you. I will be more than happy to welcome you to this stream. Any question up to there? Feel free to ask me your questions. It is 3rd of December 2025. So Jesus called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and illness. These are the names of the 12 disciples. Simon was called Peter, his brother Andrew, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. These 12 disciples set out with the following instructions: "Do not go among the Gentiles or enter any town of the Samaritans." Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. And let's continue reading. Go rather to the lost sheep of Israel. As you go, proclaim this message: the kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal those who are ill, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, and freely give. Freely you have received, and freely give. I hope that we'll be able to finish this book today. It is my desire that we finish this book tonight. Do not get any gold or silver or copper to take with you in your belts, no bag for the journey, or extra shirt or sandals or a staff, for the worker is worth his keep. Whatever town or village you enter, search there for some worthy person and stay in their house. Search for some worthy person and stay at their house until you leave. As you enter the home, give it your greeting. If the home is deserving, let your peace rest on it. If it is not, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. Any question up to there? Truly I tell you, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town. Any question up to there? I'm sending you out like sheep amongst wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes. Jesus told them to be very shrewd as a snake. Therefore be shrewd as snakes and innocent as doves, but be very shrewd. All right? Be very cunning. I think another interpretation is be a cunning person. Don't just say be shrewd. Be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and be flogged in the synagogues. Be on guard. On my account, you will be brought before governors and the kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles. But when they arrest you, do not worry about what to say. Say it. At that time you'll be given what to say, for it will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children and have them put to death. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. You'll be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. If you stand firm. When you are persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly I tell you, you will not finish going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. The student is not above the teacher. Alright? Nor a servant above his master. It is enough for students to be like their teacher and servants like their masters. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebul, how much more the members of his household? Well, that's very interesting. So, do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Any question up to there? Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. And not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Any questions? Any questions? Oof. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. So don't be afraid, you're worth more than many sparrows. Any question? However, acknowledge me before others. I will also acknowledge you before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. Wow. Listen to that verse. I have not come. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth, but I have come to bring peace, not to bring peace, but a sword. Stop there. Said, do not suppose, that is Matthew chapter 10, verses 34. For I did not come to bring peace, but a sword to the believers. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against his mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet as a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. Let us underline that. Whoever welcomes a prophet as a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and whoever welcomes a righteous person as a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward. And if anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones who is my disciple, truly I tell you that person will certainly not lose their reward. Any question up to there? Any question? Any question up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I will be more than happy to welcome you to this channel. Any question? Any question? Any question? All right.